Hi everybody, it's John Good, Senior Executive Vice President for DW Drums. Thank you for coming to Winter Namm 2016. Classic Drummer is one of my favorite publications, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about what's new and what's going on here at the booth. Okay? Check this out. Since I've got my hand on it, this is, you're going to hear me say this a few times, but this is one of my favorite kits because it's vertical mahogany, outside, inside, and cherry in the middle. Now what combination is that, and why does that matter? Mahogany has a tendency to have this beautiful warmth of tonality. They use it in violins, they use it in, cellos, they use it everywhere. And so I put this on the outside, inside, and on the inside of the core of the shell, we used cherry. Cherry is a darker, more robust kind of wood, a little more than maple, and they complement each other. So that's what this guy is right here. And if you look in the back, if you see the guys right here, who I'm very proud of, who decided to endorse this whole thing, it's Don Henley and Scott Crago. And they took a break from the Eagles to do this Don Henley tour, and they said, make us something new, make us something crazy good. And they set this drum kit up, played it, and before you know it, they were saying, I want to endorse this. So then that's from Don Henley, that's from Scott Crago. These guys are like really, really, busy people. Anyway, so I cherish the fact that they decided to help us out with this project. So that's, if you get a chance to play one of these drum kits, please do. We'll have a lot of this going on, throughout the year. You're going to hear me say my favorite drum kit about 5,000 times, right? Every one of them is, but this is truly something new. It's got a nice crack on top and it exposes beautiful bottom end, after the undertone of these drums. Okay, now, as promised, something really new that came from a project that I was so excited about, near and dear to my heart, from last year, the Romanian River Oak Project, 1,500-year-old oak. When I started making those drums, I made 100 drum kits and 250 Neil Peart snare drums for the R40 project. When that project started to come to an end, I thought, I never want oak to be out of my life because I love the sound of oak. Never used it before. So I went to Michigan and I hung out with my really good friend Don Sadler, and we concocted this cut thicker veneer, which is a 32nd of an inch instead of a 36th. And what we have here is an HVLT drum set. That means horizontal outer and all cross laminated, and it winds up vertical on the inside. These drums have got a little more wood and a little less glue. And I'm telling you, they've got an expressive, beautiful top that goes pow. And they just there's a center to these drums that I didn't expect to be that good. And here they are. And we do them in like a hard satin finish. And it is really one of the greatest, not an invention, because a lot of companies have had oak drums. But for me, it is just really, really turned into one of my favorite kits. Once again, I'll probably say that over and over again. But if you have a chance, check these out at a local dealer near you. Thank you. So moving right along, here we are at the probably the most passionate thing I've done in the past was maple. I love maple. We all love maple. I'm from Michigan. I buy hundreds of thousands of square feet of maple a month. And the other day, the people who process it for me came and awarded me a bottle of maple syrup from my logs. I cried like a baby, okay? Is that all right with you guys? Anyway, so what we have here, is the whole story about grain orientation that I've been on about for so many years, and maybe some of the readers will remember this, but when you have horizontal grain and you bend it around a shell, the pitch goes up. It's an amazing thing that happens under tension. And when you turn the grain vertical, the pitch goes down because there's no tension on the drum. And when you go to an X pattern, all heck breaks loose. I didn't say hell. Anyway, so here's the deal. In this maple kit, we call it SSC, Specialized Shell Configuration. We start off with an X pattern on the 8-inch tom, which brings that pitch way down. I love little drums that sound really big and roar. That's an X shell. Then the next two toms, the 10 and the 12, are VLT, vertical low timbre, so they go boom, boom, boom. They get literally boom, boom, boom. They tell you where they want to be tuned. It's no big mystery at all. And so that's what we do right here, and it works. Try it, it works amazingly well. And for the first floor tom, we go back to the X so it like drops the pitch, right? Very, very bottom endy. Second floor tom, we want to spread that interval, so we make that VLX. And VLX has got two vertical plies in it, and it really drops the pitch. So we're all learning about veneer here. The kick drums, number one, that's a 23-inch bass drum. That'll kill you. This is a 22, but they are VLX plus. Instead of two vertical plies, we got three in there. And I mean, any lady who's pregnant should like avoid these bass drums because it can be dangerous. There's so much bottom end there. So this is what we've decided is a really great combination for maple, and I'm really proud to bring this along with the Royal Ebony outer. Then it's a Royal Ebony, by the way. I bought this in Germany, but it comes from an island in Southeast Asia. It's so doggone cool. And it's got like a little streak of Merlot in it. It's really hard to find. So I had to put it on there. I twisted it at 45 degrees. Why? Because I can. And we make these shells, and it's so much fun. My artisans at DW just are the greatest shell makers, greatest painters, and we're just enjoying bringing all this to you. So we finally got through the nice group of people to get to the snare drum area. This is such a great crowd, and we're having such a good time here. And you know, it only gets better every year. The snare drums, you know, this is a carbon fiber snare. Forever, I kind of avoided carbon fiber because I'm a wood guy. You all know that. But you know what? It's undeniably a great sound. And our main goal in life as drummers is to take the lead singer's head off, right? So this guy right here does a good job of that. So this is a carbon fiber offering that I'm very proud of. It's got that carbon fiber loudness about it, and it's got a beautiful controlled ring about it that is always fun. And it's a real good looker of a snare drum. We can't have enough snares, right? This guy, we collaborated with Greg Keplinger. You know, and Greg Keplinger is a world-renowned metal worker of drum shells. And we worked on this thing called the Black Iron Snare. And man, put these guys together, built this snare. Snare beds are different than the typical DW. I put it together and played it, and it's one of my faves. So it's an amazing drum, and it's a little heavy, but you know what? Most of what I do is heavy. So this guy right here, we're only making 50 of them, so I hope you get in on this, you know, on the top side of the game. Back in '91, I made what's called the Edge snare drum with brass edges and a wood center. Well, this is the opposite of that. These are wood edges, and you get that chopping wood sound on the edge, but in the center, it's aluminum. So it's aluminum zing that's kind of dry. You should try this guy out. It records amazingly well. Okay, then we have like the oak, you know, the red oak that complements the drum kit we just talked about. We've got the cherry mahogany that complements that kit in front that we were talking about. I got one more icon in my back pocket. Good friend of mine, Mick Fleetwood. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Now, the Rumors album is one of the greatest albums of all time. Wouldn't you say? I agree. And in the typical fashion of the Icon series drum, we did almost like a corduroy curly maple. If you see how tight this curl is in the background, the black part of Mick and Stevie Nicks is black dyed pear. Then we have, for his shirt, we have white poplar. The skin tone is koto wood. Then we have Paduke for the stool on the bottom. And for her cloak here in the back, it is Italian dyed gray poplar. And I swear, this stuff was so hard to find. And we have this laser cut, laser inlaid. It's a work of labor and love that we're so into. And every Icon is a great endeavor because this satisfies a charity. Mick's charity of choice is Wounded Warrior Foundation, which, let's face it, that's one of the best there is. So this is our Icon for 2016. I know that I've taken up a lot of your time, but there's a few hardware items that I know that Rich Seeker wants to talk to you about. But thanks for listening to me babble about drums. I'll do it over and over again if you'll have me. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.